So we're going to get started. My name is Courtney Ann Jackson. I am the Study Abroad Coordinator located in the Carson Center. So we're going to talk a little bit about study abroad today. If you can, I'll make sure that you are muted. That would be great. And then you can ask any questions that you have in the chat box. Okay, so this is me. Again, my name is Courtney Ann Jackson. I work specifically doing study abroad for Carson College of Business students. There is a general study abroad office here that's available for all Global Campus students as well, outside of business. So if you're interested in, if you have a minor or something outside of business and you're interested in studying abroad through that, there are other support people who would be able to help you with that. But I will do my best to answer any questions that you do have about study abroad in general today. So we're going to get started. What is study abroad? So study abroad is basically when you take credits at an institution in another country that transfer back to WSU that should work towards your degree. So there's lots of different kinds and reasons why you might participate in a study abroad program, but that's generally the idea, is that you are taking classes elsewhere, sort of like transfer credits, but that experience is happening in a country outside of the United States. So a couple of reasons you might want to consider studying abroad. There's actually like a million reasons you might want to study abroad. I have like a list that's like 3 pages long of all of the really great things that students get out of study abroad. But these are the ones that tend to come up the most often, is that you gain international experience, you diversify yourself and grow as a person, you get to explore the world and travel. Earning credits, right? Getting credits towards your degree is important. It helps you stand out in the job search, particularly if you're planning to work in any sort of like cross-cultural, in any kind of cross-cultural like position. So for example, if you're interviewing for a job and you're going to be managing a whole bunch of people from all over the world, and the person that you're competing against has not had any sort of cross-cultural opportunities, and you have, and you've got to do the study abroad thing, and you've worked in all of these cross-cultural teams and things, you're going to be a lot more prepared to talk about that in an interview, and hopefully more prepared to actually do that role. And then it also helps you fulfill your international learning requirement through the Carson College of Business. So all Carson College of Business majors have an international learning, actually it's international experience requirement, I'm sorry, they've changed the wording on that. But that requirement can be fulfilled through study abroad as well. So there's lots of different types of study abroad. I'm just going to go briefly over the different types that there are, and then I'll go into detail about the ones that will work most often for Global Campus students. So we have faculty-led programs, and faculty-led programs are where Carson College of Business faculty take groups of Carson College of Business students in a group to a specific location, and they take WSU classes from that faculty member. The next kind is program providers, and program providers are organizations that help facilitate study abroad. And so usually on program providers, students are going with other American students, but not necessarily WSU students, and taking classes in an institution abroad with other study abroad students from the US for the most part. The nice part about program providers is that there's a million of them, and they have classes all over the world. And so if you were interested in going somewhere that the Carson College of Business doesn't have programs currently, that might be a good option for you. And then we also have exchange programs. Exchange programs are really great in that we have all of these partnerships with some of the best institutions in the world, the Harvards of Spain and things like that, where you could study abroad. And the nice part about it is that you pay WSU tuition, you have access to their entire list of classes at that institution, and oftentimes they are the most affordable option. However, exchanges are usually also a longer term commitment, and so usually it's at least a full semester for exchanges. And then interning abroad is also another option, usually through some of the program providers that we'll talk about. So exchanges, like I mentioned, it's usually the most affordable option, but I know a lot of Global Campus students time can be a bit of a barrier. And so if you do have the time and the flexibility in your schedule to do a full semester, I think this is one of the best options. We have really, really great partnerships with places all over the world, almost any country you can think of. And yeah, there's about 1 million different places. So if you're really interested in that, please let me know. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of our shorter term programs in more detail. Program providers, again, there's 1 million different program providers. These are just a sampling of the ones that WC works with, but they go all over the world, and usually intern abroad options are through them too. So if you're interested in doing like a short-term summer internship abroad, for example, working with one of these organizations to get placed in an internship abroad might be a great option for you. And then our faculty-led programs are definitely our most popular option, particularly with our global campus students. They run anywhere from 1 week all the way to up to 11 weeks. And so they have the most flexibility in terms of time and yeah, in terms of time. Okay, so a little bit more about faculty-led. These are all of the different locations that we have faculty-led programs just for the 2019-2020 year. These change a little bit year to year. For example, our New Zealand program, our Romania program, our Egypt program, and our France program are all brand new this year. And so if you're considering studying abroad this year, these would be your options. If you're here but you're still thinking, you know, maybe next year or the year after that, these may change a little bit from year to year. In general, we try to keep them the same throughout so people can plan ahead, but you never really know if we're going to come up with something brand new and exciting from year to year. So there may be some new options next year. And if any of these are not particularly popular this year, we may drop them and try to do something different next year. So things to consider. So for faculty-led programs, we do have information sessions that we do via Zoom that Global Campus students can absolutely attend. We would love to have you there. And we do 2 different sessions per country. So for example, later this week, we're doing our session on France on September 26th. And so you'll see all of the different dates and times by country when we're holding those sessions. And so they're held here in Pullman, but the faculty members will be there. Some of them are Pullman faculty, some of them are located on our other campuses and will also be zooming in to present. And in those sessions, the faculty will go over all the details of each program. For the ones that are returning programs, we'll bring in students who went last year who can talk to you all about their experience on the program. And it's really the best place to get more details about each program. So if you're thinking, how am I ever supposed to pick between Ireland and New Zealand, go to both sessions and hear about all the details from both programs so that you can make a really educated decision about which one makes the most sense for you. You can find all of the details for every program on the website with the link there. So each program has its own page where we list out the classes, the faculty members, the dates, anything that you might need. And then that Zoom link is the link for every session. So it's the same no matter whether you're going to the China session or the Greece session, it's the same one. So things to consider when you're thinking about studying abroad. Time is definitely one of those things. So like I mentioned, we have programs that are as short as a week, and you can also do, programs for as long as a year, depending on what your availability is. Most of our students do programs that are about 4 weeks, maybe up to 6 weeks. And our global campus students in particular have chosen our summer programs that tend to be about 4 to 6 weeks. Deadlines are really important, and they change depending on when you're planning to go. So if you are thinking about a summer short-term program, deadlines are February 3rd. That being said, please don't wait until like January 28th to start your application. It becomes very stressful. The earlier, the better. Most summer applications are not open yet, but I anticipate they'll be open here in the next couple of weeks. We are finalizing budgets and things for those, so they'll be finishing up pretty quickly. If you are interested in any one particular program, please feel free to email me and let me know, and I can add you to a list. I do send out emails as soon as those applications do open to let everybody know. Other things to be aware of, study abroad really can be affordable. I think that there's this misnomer that study abroad is this really, really expensive thing, and it can be, depending on where you go and when you go and which program it is that you pick, but we do work really hard to make sure that we have some options that are affordable. So certain parts of the world, cost of living is going to be significantly cheaper than, I guess it depends on where you are, but at least for like Pullman-based students, there are parts of the world where cost of living in the summer is going to be cheaper than living in Pullman, paying rent, eating, all of those sorts of things. And so it's very possible that studying abroad may not add a huge cost to whatever your financial sort of situation looks like on a normal summer. And then again, we have lots of locations and lots of ranges in prices. So for example, cost of living in Switzerland is going to be significantly higher than cost of living in Thailand. That doesn't mean Switzerland isn't amazing, because it is, and it's totally worth it. But if cost is your main factor, there are a lot of parts of the world and a lot of different like ranges in time that could impact that, and that could make study abroad feasible for you financially. Financial aid can apply to study abroad, and we do also have lots of scholarships available, and then the Global Learning Office has fellowships and grants and things you can apply for as well. We do, in the Carson College of Business, prioritize scholarship funding for Carson College of Business students going on Carson College of Business programs. So a global campus business student going on one of our faculty-led programs would be our top priority in terms of funding for scholarships. And we also are really excited about the idea of bringing in students from other campuses outside of Pullman. And so you should absolutely be applying for scholarships for us. Scholarship deadlines are usually a couple of weeks before our application deadline. So for example, if you're thinking summer, the application deadline is January 10th. And then the scholarship application deadline is January 10th, and then the study abroad application deadline is February 3rd. So then between January 10th and February 3rd, we work really hard to read all those essays and make sure that everyone is told what their scholarships will look like before that commitment deadline, so you know what you have from the Carson College of Business moving forward. So these are just a couple of students who were from Global Campus who did get to do study abroad. So it's absolutely, it's totally real. Like Global Campus students do this. So the one on yours is the same as mine. The one on the left was in Ireland. The one in the middle was in Thailand, and the one on the right did both Italy and France. So yeah, it's real. All of these were our summer faculty-led programs as well. I think Ireland was 4 weeks, Italy and France was 8 weeks, Thailand was probably closer to 5 weeks. So hopefully you're super excited about the idea of studying abroad and figuring out how this can work for you. There's lots of different support systems on campus that can help with this. It's very important that you do attend a Global Cougs 101 session and meet with your global learning advisor. Depending on your business major, that person may be different, but you can make appointments with them online through this link. The Global Learning Advisor is someone located in the Global Learning Office, which is the general study abroad office here on campus. And Global Cougs 101 is basically like this intro to study abroad session that they'll do with you. And they can do that via Zoom or via phone or whatever works best for you. And they'll talk to you in more detail about the difference between faculty-led and program providers and how that all works, how financial aid works, scholarships, applications, all of those like really important details they will go into with you. So if you're thinking, I really want to do a summer program, but I really want to go to Australia and you guys don't offer Australia, they can help you find an option like that. Making sure that you're speaking with your academic advisor is also really important. It's critical that the program that you pick has the classes that you need to be able to stay on track. We really don't want study abroad to be this extra thing that puts you above and beyond your degree. There's lots and lots of study abroad programs out there that offer business classes, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't be able to take the classes you need to stay on track to graduate and study abroad at the same time. And then if you're considering one of our faculty-led programs, make sure that you are attending our information sessions. Like I mentioned, they're all offered on Zoom. Other colleges do have faculty-led programs outside of the Carson College of Business as well. So for example, there's like a first generation program. I think it goes to Italy one year and Spain the next year. So if you were interested in that one, for example, you could speak with the Global Learning Office, and I'm sure that they would, if they don't already have it set up via Zoom, I'm sure that they would figure out how to make that accessible to you if that was the program you were interested in going on. But we also have Italy and Spain, and they're great too. So resources, like I mentioned, the Global Learning Department is very important, as well as myself. You can feel free to call me or email me with any questions that you do have. I know I didn't go into too many details about each one of our different programs. I can say this year, our France program, I'm particularly excited about, and I think that it's really going to offer study abroad to students who don't normally get to do so, because it's only a 1-week program. It happens during spring break, and you only take one class. So the class is offered online for a couple of weeks before spring break and after spring break. And then in country in France, you're doing a lot of different business visits and classes and meeting with different people. The class is HBM 350, which is the wine beverage business management course. And so you're actually taking different wine classes and learning from all of these really incredible, like top of the world wine people in Lyon, France, which is like the culinary hub of France, which is like arguably the culinary hub of like the world. It depends on who you ask. That's a pretty bold statement, but so I'm really excited about the France program. We also have a new one this year. That is a New Zealand program that's only 2 weeks long. That's also over the summer, and it happens in Auckland, New Zealand, and it's really focused on business and sustainability, which I think would be really interesting. And again, it's 2 weeks, so it would be really, I think it's very helpful if time is something that you're really concerned about. And then a bunch of our other programs are closer to 4 weeks. So our Ireland program, our Romania program, our Thailand and Vietnam program, and a couple of others are all 4 weeks long. Most of them range between like 5 and 6 weeks. So you can see all of those dates and everything on the website as well. So I'm gonna open this up for questions, and I'm happy to answer any kind of study abroad things that you might have.
Do you know off the top of your head when the deadline for the New Zealand one is?
Yeah, so the deadline for New Zealand is February 3rd, as is all of the other summer programs.
Okay, and then someone also asked, has the deadline for the 1-week France program ended, the spring break one?
No, that one has not ended. So the deadline for the 1-week spring break program to France is November 1st. So you do have some time for that one. If you're really considering it, I would try, if at all possible, if you're not in class or at work, to do the information session we're having for France later this week. I believe it's on Thursday. I can go back and look. Yeah, on the 26th. The faculty member for that one is Bob Harrington out of the Tri-Cities campus. And so he'll be presenting from Tri-Cities, and hopefully some of his students will be there as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
Is there a scholarship for that one as well, for the France 1-week program?
Yes, absolutely. That's a really good question though. So deadlines for our spring programs for scholarships, the deadline is October 1st. So that one's coming up a lot quicker. You can apply for scholarships for that program on our website. There's a whole section. It's called financial support, and there's a link in there that you can start applying for that scholarship. But the nice part about that is we review them before our October 15th deadline. So you have almost a month between October 1st and November 1st, where you'll find out what kind of scholarships we would give for that program.
And are these programs, I know that you said there are study abroad for other colleges, but for College of Business, does that have to be your major or can it be your minor as well?
It can be your minor as well. Normally we require certification into the College of Business, but don't you have to have, I think you have to be certified to get a minor. So yes, absolutely. We've had plenty of business minors go on these programs as well. And a few of our programs are also for pre-certified students. So like our Ireland program offers Accounting 230, 231, and B-Law 210. And so if you're looking to certify into the college and want to get ahead over the summer, that might be a good way of going about that too.
Which study abroad programs have you been on? Have you gone on any of them?
I have been on the Italy program, which is amazing. It's super, super great. It is primarily a hospitality focused program, although we have a lot of students who are not hospitality who do choose to, who just have an interest in you know, the food and wine of Italy. So that one's really, really fantastic. I haven't been on our Chile program, but I did study abroad in Chile in graduate school, and Chile is amazing. Again, it's another hospitality sort of focus. We have a lot of really amazing faculty who are very focused on food and culture. So that tends to go hand in hand.
Nice. Do you get to work with the companies while studying abroad?
In terms of doing internship while you're there? Can you clarify that one just a little bit? Yes. Okay. So if you do a program that specifically has an internship opportunity, then you can. On our faculty-led programs, most of them don't have an internship opportunity, but we have had students do a faculty-led program and then stay for longer and do an internship. But some of the program providers that I mentioned do just internship abroad opportunities where you would be placed with a local institution with a local organization. And usually the way that works is they work with you. So you're not applying to a certain internship, like not a specific position, but you apply to a program provider and say, you know, I'm a finance student and I'm looking to gain these skills in an internship and I want to go to this country. And they will work with you to find an internship that will fulfill those skills. So you can then talk about those in interviews and on your resume and things like that.
How much does it affect the program if you don't speak the language?
Most of our students don't speak the language. I would love for everyone to, you know, gain a little bit of language ability, but most of our programs are so short that that's not really feasible. So I'd say at least 80% of our students do not speak the language of their host country, but we always partner with institutions in country that do. So for example, if you go to Chile, the institution that we partner with will have tour guides and faculty and people who can help translate.
What would the business focus be when going to Romania or Croatia?
Yeah, so the program to Romania and Croatia is focused, so the classes offered are Finance 325, Management 301, and IBIS 496. And so two of those are those core business courses, and one would be a business elective, most likely depending on your major. And so the faculty member who leads that is Mario Reyes, who is actually a finance faculty member, but really the program is focused on business in Eastern Europe. And so the IBIS 496 class is going to have a lot of different business visits and things like that. There's a long weekend in Bucharest. You get to go to Braun and see Dracula's castle, and there's a long weekend in Dubrovnik, Croatia as well. Where you'll do a bunch of Game of Thrones filming locations and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of it, there will be some tourism focus, but the faculty member is primarily a finance faculty member.
Do you live with host families or stay in hotels?
That also depends on the program. It depends is the answer to almost everything. So for our faculty-led programs, you primarily live in dorms or hotels, depending on the program. So for example, our Greece program, you actually live in a resort on the beach. It has 2 pools and you're right next to the beach. I don't know why you would use the pool. It's beautiful. Whereas our Romania program, you will live in, you'll actually live in what their faculty live in, so it's like their faculty housing. And then our Spain program, you live in dorms. But if you wanted to do a program provider over the summer or something, and you really wanted to live with a host family, that could be organized for you as well.
All great questions.
Yeah, those are really good questions.
And can you tell us again maybe what website we should go to I guess you have it on this right here. So these are the websites. Okay.
That has like the dates and the classes and everything listed out. So if you're thinking, this Ireland program and this Spain program look really cool, go and see if the classes that you still need are being offered on those. So you can do some compare and contrast there. And then if you have questions, again, I'll go back to my email address. Oh, no, too far, my bad. Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I can always set up like a separate Zoom appointment with you to talk through any of the ones that you're interested in. I just want to say, I do think that this can be really, really feasible depending on, what your situation is. One of the students, the student who went to Ireland, she was a mother of 2 and a wife, and she actually brought her husband and 2 children to Ireland with her, and they lived there in an apartment for a month and had like this really amazing experience her children got to have while she was like going to class and learning and doing all these things. The woman who went to Thailand is also a mother, and she was able to make things work with her family and able to still participate in the program. So it definitely takes a whole lot of extra steps, I mean, if that is your case, and you're not a traditional, 19-year-old student here in Pullman, but it is possible, and it has been done. And we're here to help you figure out whatever.
So plan probably,
Planning,
huh?
That's a great idea. Awesome. Well, I hope you all decide to study abroad. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good night.